Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Conan the Barbarian by John Milius, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, written by Milius and Oliver Stone. I have to admit I haven't watched any of Milius's films which he directed, but I did watch Apocalypse Now, which he wrote. I had no idea Oliver Stone co-wrote the film till I read it in a recommendation comment. Stone is undoubtedly an excellent writer and director, so I expect a little depth to the story, knowing that it was written by the director of Platoon and the writer of Apocalypse Now. About Conan, I've known about this film all my life, and this is one of the very few Schwarzenegger films I have left to watch, along with Pumping Iron and The Comeback. A few other films like Eraser, End of Days, and The Sixth Day I've watched more than 15 years ago, and I don't remember anything of significance from them. If they are worth a proper watch on the channel, do let me know. Conan is a film I skipped growing up because I wasn't the biggest fan of epic fantasy when I was younger. Furthermore, I used to mix up the He-Man cartoons and Conan, both of which were released around the same time. In fact, I was a big fan of the He-Man cartoons and I remember them fondly. Anyways, that obviously changed, and nowadays I look forward to new experiences. Conan has been described to me as an epic B, almost A movie fantasy, and it was intentionally made that way. I don't know what to expect except seeing Arnie as Conan the Barbarian having some sort of an epic adventure. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reactions to over 50 movies, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along, of course. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Conan the Barbarian, Milius, Schwarzenegger. Let's go! That which does not kill us makes us stronger. Friedrich Nietzsche. They're quoting Nietzsche in the first 5 seconds. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh man, I feel a little sad knowing that I only have a few Arnold Schwarzenegger films left.
Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Nice. A sword is being forged. Music by Basil Duris. I think I recognize that name because I think he might have written the score for RoboCop, which was excellent. I might be wrong though. Ooh. John Milius. I think these might be actual images. Okay.
But Crumb is your god. Crumb, and he lives in the earth. The gods forgot the secret of steel and left it on the battlefield. And the secret of steel has always carried with it a mystery. No one in this world can you trust. This you can trust.
Nice lesson by his father, I'm assuming. That might have been green screen, but this definitely is not. That's actually a decent looking set. And props. Oh man, I'm really enjoying the music. Their village is getting attacked. Just off topic for a second, I really like the costume design. Stabbed in the back, mauled by dogs. What a horrible way to die. I know who that is. It's Darth Vader himself. What a beautiful way to show that without showing it. The camera was on little Conan the entire time.
And the blood became as snow.
His parents were killed by Jones's character, and now he's been taken as a slave. Another beautifully made prop. That's something they actually made. Damn. Yeah. Can you imagine doing this for years and years. Either your heart gives out or you just become big and strong. That's Arnie for sure. He's ripped. And unlike a lot of other films, Milius is choosing to use the score a lot. Growing up in chains like that kind of makes you mute and silent. I'm sorry, the noises Schwarzenegger is making. Holy crap! Literally breaking the elbow. Okay, this movie's a little more violent than I expected. I like it.
He did not care anymore.
Literally becoming a warrior, a killing machine.
He was taken to the east. And he also came to know the pleasures of women.
Nudity.
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
He's quite literally embodiment of a barbarian slave.
Oh, you're free!
It has been surmised that perhaps my lord was like a wild animal that had been kept too long.
His master freed him, but he's still being chased by wild dogs. I'm sorry, the noises he makes are hilarious, but I can see that he actually is doing his own stunt work, which is very respectable. This set might look simple, but I can assure you this was not easy to make. Oh man, the music is driving the plot forward. It's excellent. Crom. Like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. Fully transformed and free. What a beautiful location. I wonder where this is.
Do you not wish to warm yourself by my fire?
Is this film moving into sexploitation territory? Or is it just some mystic or a witch? I wonder what the change in lighting is supposed to mean. She transformed into a beam of something and just flew away.
I have not eaten for days.
Who are you?
I am Subotai, thief and archer.
What gods do you pray to?
I pray to the four winds. And you?
To Crom?
Crom is his god. I thought he was a human character.
If I die, I have to go before him.
Yeah, my god is greater.
In this world of magic and sorcery, I'm sure the gods, they're somewhat real. Beautiful cinematography here, seriously. I was expecting small sets and cheesy action, but it's much more than that. Clearly. Wow.
Civilization.
That's a real elephant. Subotai and Conan are bonding and having mini adventures together.
How about two snakes coming together over a black sun?
The only snakes I know of are those of Set and those cursed towers.
You're not a guard.
Neither are you.
Another bandit like them.
What on earth could smell so bad?
Do you want to live forever?
It's definitely some sort of ritual.
He's the high priest, second only to Thulsa Doom. They say Thulsa Doom's 1,000 years old.
I have to assume Thulsa Doom is James Earl Jones' character because he seemed to be the one in charge and he's the biggest name actor. Now we switch to almost what I would call Celtic music. The Eye of the Snake. And I think one of them is an actual snake. Oh no! Wow, what a beautifully made prop. Not very convincing by today's standards, but I can see the hard work that went into making that. even more impressive, actually. She's crazy and brave. There's some attraction there. Definitely. Milius does take his time with these sex scenes. So I have to assume a little time has passed.
These are the thieves you have requested, sire.
Dude, I think that's Max von Sydow. It's too much makeup, I can't tell.
Everywhere these evil towers. You alone have stood up to their god. My own daughter has fallen under this Thulsa spell.
Ah.
She follows him as a slave. Steal my daughter back. Take all you can carry. All that is left is a father's love for his child.
Wow. That is real good dialogue right there.
Let's take what we have while we live.
He's going to go for revenge.
I have never had so much as now. Let's take the world by the throat and make it give us what we desire.
She does sound convincing, but Conan does not seem convinced. Again, the music is carrying the film. He set off alone without even Subotai. The location choices in this film are surprising the crap out of me, from ice-cold mountains to deserts to hills and valleys and caves, and the number of animals we've seen so far is nothing short of impressive. So yeah, the production values might be a little off here and there, but the overall effect of the film is still there.
Doom's children. They told my lord the way to the mountain of power. It was here that I met my master. I'm a wizard, mind you.
Yeah.
Do flowers grow around here?
Flowers.
Again, Schwarzenegger is doing his own stunts. And this is the Doom cult, literally.
Could we talk over there?
I have a good feeling about this one. That's not unexpected at all. I'm sorry, but he looks so much out of place, it's insane. That's a beautiful shot, actually. And I'm wondering whether they actually made these sets or not. Because if they did, that's impressive.
I have watched you.
Interesting choice of costume. That was way too sudden. His cover being blown like that. Okay, he's being slowly tortured.
Where is the eye of the serpent?
You killed my father, you killed my people!
There was a time, boy, when I searched for steel. Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger.
Oh, they are under some spell.
That is power. Contemplate this on the tree of woe.
Damn. Is this some sort of Jesus metaphor? He's got the hair and everything. And is near death. And I think that's Subotai. They're both here. Bringing somebody back from the brink of death. Oh, the spirits are trying to take his body. I can see that they were hand-drawn. Yeah, it's animation work for sure. Alright, okay, they succeeded. And somehow he's healed. I wonder whether the healing was because of a lot of time has passed or because of the magic and sorcery. But this is a classic shot with the wind flowing and him wielding the sword. By the way, I did watch the original Terminator film on my channel, so do check that out if you have the time.
Good thief could get in there, steal the princess, be off before she's missed in the darkness.
Good thieves could do that, but not vengeful ones.
He doesn't answer. The music has been relentless and appropriate. I'm a big fan of this soundtrack, or score. It's some sort of massive orgy. So many animals. It's like that Jabba the Hutt and Leia scene. That's definitely a mask of some sort. He can transform into a snake. That was unexpected. They're eating the people that have sacrificed themselves or were compelled to sacrifice themselves. Ugh.
Now they will know why they are afraid of the dark.
It's a snake arrow. They need to take her to the wizard.
I'm so cold.
Although they got the princess back, he's going back. The actual camera work might be a little weak, but the cinematography itself is excellent.
He has seen your fires. He will come for me, and when he does, he will kill you.
They're preparing for the eventual assault on them. The outfits they're wearing seem to be inspired by the Mongols, or it might be a mixture of both.
Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, then the hell with you.
Nice. He hasn't been given too much dialogue, and that might have been on purpose because he was limited with his English, but it weirdly works for this movie. Although the action sequences are good and I'm enjoying them, the actual story and narrative are way better. Doom. Nice stunt work. Oh! They didn't get Doom though.
Do you want to live forever?
Just like she said when she was dying. A nice touch. And the triumphant music means he's dead. If he can't have her, he's gonna kill her. Oh no, it's the sword of his father. I didn't recognize it, and it's broken. Oh man, what a twist. I expected him to get the sword back and kill Doom with it. But I guess it does send a big message. The princess, but this time she's on Conan's side.
You, my children, burn you the way to paradise!
I'm actually enjoying James Earl Jones's performance.
My child, who now is your father if it is not me?
He's trying to hypnotize him.
When I am gone, you will have never been my son.
No. In front of... Oh man, in front of his entire following. Oh, it's actually... It is his father's sword he uses at the end. What a beautiful shot. It's the princess. What a way to end the film, with the sun rays in the background and him taking the princess back to the king, with an excellent score as well.
So did Conan return the wayward daughter of King Osric to her home. He and his companions sought adventure in the West. He became a king by his own hand. This story shall also be told.
There is a sequel. Is that worth watching, guys? He looks like a badass king. I really enjoyed that film. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was an unexpectedly good film. I had my reservations and thought it might be a brainless slasher film, but it was way more than that. Milius and Stone added a layer of depth to the story, which was surprising. Arnie as Conan was perfectly cast too. I would say the strengths of the film included its score, writing, sets and props, and the beautiful cinematography, while I'd considered the editing and the overall camera work to be weaknesses. Let's get right into it with the directing by John Milius and the writing by him and Stone. Instead of recapping the entire story, I wanted to focus more on the themes and actual filmmaking process here. The duo introduce us to Conan as a young boy who learns the importance of steel from his father before the entire village gets killed by a massacre by Thulsa Doom's men, including his mother. Growing up as a slave and a gladiator almost, Conan becomes strong before winning his freedom. He soon goes on adventures, eventually making friends with thieves called Subotai and Valeria, the latter becoming his love interest. As the king's daughter is also captured by Doom, his and Conan's interests align, and he's sent to rescue the princess while also given a chance at revenge. Milius and Stone quoted Nietzsche at the beginning of the film, which I found very interesting. He's a favorite writer and philosopher of mine, and so seeing his name, it made me think more of his work. One of the themes tackled here, I believe, is the pen is mightier than the sword, which was not his idea originally, but he was a great believer in that. I think the central theme here might have been the fact that even without his father's mighty sword, he becomes victorious. Yes, he does kill Doom with his father's sword at the end, but it was a broken sword, showing the man makes the sword and not the sword makes the man. Weirdly, it is an idea appropriated by the primary antagonist, Doom himself, who was also under the belief that the sword was more powerful than flesh. His power was controlling the mind and flesh of his followers, which was demonstrated repeatedly during the runtime. There was also the theme of sacrifice and the price to pay for it. Valeria's willingness to pay any price for Conan's return was a testament to that. Furthermore, I felt there was more subtext I couldn't get from my initial viewing. It was far more than what just met the eye. The details in directing were very surprising, honestly, and after finishing the film, I wouldn't call it a B movie at all. I was very much wrong in that assessment. Overall, it was very good writing and directing here, although I don't believe it would win multiple awards or anything. Moving on to the cinematography, editing, and the camera work. The cinematography was excellent, with the beautiful locations and the wide shots of the landscape. I have to applaud Milius for choosing an ultra-wide 2.31 to 1 aspect ratio of the film, as it made the landscape shots appear even wider than they actually were. The close-up cinematography was also very good, with excellent framing of the characters, especially of the scenes near or around the temple. The editing and the general camera work were a little subpar in my opinion. The fight sequences, which were choreographed beautifully, was somewhat dishonored by the editing, where there were sharp cuts made at the moment of impact, which I don't enjoy at all. It really lessened the weight of the actual blows. We know that Arnie did most of his own stunts. We saw that with our own eyes. So he's clearly capable of fighting. So they might have handled that a little better. Furthermore, the general camera work was also a little mediocre and wonky because the cinematography itself was excellent. Maybe, excuse me, maybe it was because of the budget, or maybe it was a creative choice. Either way, I feel like there was room for improvement there. The music and the score of the film were excellent. Probably one of the highlights of the film for me. The score was relentless and epic and very appropriately used. There were elements of Asian, Celtic, and Middle Age inspired music with a certain epicness that can only be achieved by a choir. I believe it was written by the same composer as RoboCop, so he clearly knows what he was doing. I really loved the score of the film, and I will look it up on my own time. The sets, props, and stunt work in the film were fantastic for the time and budget. Again, I didn't expect the costumes and the actual set design to be so detailed, and the stunt work was actually done by Arnie. Yes, I could spot the green screen here and there and some errors, but the overall package, with an overall package this good, things like this can easily be overlooked. Speaking of Arnie, he played Conan the Barbarian. He was excellent in his role. It was a great choice to give him very little dialogue, as he might have ruined the film otherwise. His grunting noises were very, very funny though, and I would go as far as to say that it was a little immersion breaking. You must get, you know what I mean. But looking past that, he had a solid performance for early in his career. His acting skills do get better later in the career, but as we all know, Arnie isn't the best of actors. He was good here though. Jerry Lopez and Sandal Bergman played Subotai and Valeria, the two allies of Conan, the latter being the love interest too. Both were very good in their roles, and I would go as far as to say their acting performances were better than Arnie, at least in terms of pure acting skill. Arnie's physical performance trumps them though. Both the characters were crucial to the film as they provided a sense of humanity to Conan. They helped Conan at various points in the film, going to show that no single person can go at it alone. You always need friends. James Earl Jones played Thulsa Doom, the primary antagonist of the film. I'm going to be honest here, I wasn't convinced of his performance, and especially that odd haircut at the beginning, but his character's cold stare and intimidating presence really brought it to life, and he grew on me. He was actually pretty good as the antagonist, as he was shown to have almost no redeeming qualities except for an important lesson he inadvertently teaches Conan, that flesh is mightier than the sword. That I found very interesting. His death scene was also pretty satisfying, with his 1,000-year-old stare failing him and him getting decapitated in front of the whole cult. As for criticisms, I don't have any apart from the ones I already mentioned, like the editing and the general camera work. But apart from that, overall, I unexpectedly enjoyed this film. The pacing was wonderful, the writing and directing by John Milius and Oliver Stone were good, the sets, props, and the music, they were great. Arnold Schwarzenegger was iconic as Conan the Barbarian, and I finally see why this film has such a dedicated following to it. This is a film I highly recommend for adults who love fantasy. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page, consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel, like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.